plans for this channel's future, with ghost stories, true crime stories, video essays, and movie reviews. Basically, if it frightens you, I'm gonna do my best to cover it. If that sounds interesting to you, stab that subscribe button and twist on notifications. Stay tuned to the end of the video to hear the details of the launch giveaway. Now, let's get this first video started, shall we? This is part 1 of 3 on Urban Legends of Hawaii. Submitted for your approval. This is The Legend of the Faceless Ghost. With the world in a tailspin and day-to-day activities in a state of limbo, there is one extinct piece of Americana making its way back. The drive-in theater. Drive-ins back in the 50s and 60s were the hangout spot for teens and families alike. There's one drive-in in Hawaii where visitors saw more than just a movie. One evening in 1959, a young couple drove down to the Waialae Drive-in to enjoy a night out. The couple settled in their vehicle for the movie, which began around 10:15. And there was an intermission near midnight. So the girl headed to the ladies' room to freshen herself up. She entered the empty bathroom and headed to the mirror. As she began to apply her lipstick, she noticed a young woman leaning against the wall behind her. She had long, stringy black hair obscuring her face, and a long, white, ragged-looking kimono. The young girl quickly turned around to apologize, and was shocked when she was met with an empty bathroom. Now a little creeped out, she turned back towards the mirror and was horrified to see that not only was the figure still there, but it began to move towards her, drawing closer and closer, and then it suddenly vanished. The girl fainted from shock. She was rushed to the hospital later that night. After a few days, the girl recovered and insisted that there was something else in the bathroom with her. The words to describe what she saw escaped her. All she could recollect was the woman's face. She had no face. She had no eyes, no nose, no mouth, no features at all. This was the beginning of the Waialae Drive-in Faceless Ghost. Sounds like a scene right out of The Grudge, right? These versions of events were told to me as a child, as a sort of ghost story. What's strange is reading about it in the local newspaper. Here's a portion of the editorial from the Honolulu Advertiser back in 1959. Obviously, I didn't read it back then. Another horrifying story about the Waialae Drive-in was told to me by my 5th grade teacher on Halloween. I'll tell the story from her perspective to make things easier. I was around 18, and it was the mid-70s. One night, my boyfriend and I went to the Waialae Drive-in. At this point, the stories about the ladies' room were well known. I forgot what movie we watched. I just remember I drank way too much soda that night and tried to hold it until we got back to my house. My boyfriend finally told me that he would go with me and wait for me outside the women's restroom. With that, we made our way to the bathroom. My boyfriend reassured me and held my hand, and I walked into the bathroom. I was relieved to see 2 girls talking at the sink. All the stalls were empty, so I chose the cleanest one. I closed the door and took my position. Then I heard the 2 girls finish up and exit the bathroom. Damn. I begin to relieve myself as I break the echoing silence, hoping to finish up as humanly possible. I feel the door slightly rattle, which startles the hell out of me. I call my boyfriend's name. No answer. Now the door shakes with more force. The door slams. Boom! The banging continued as I looked under the stall door to see who was tormenting me. I look and see nothing. There's no one in front of my bathroom stall. And I scream my boyfriend's name at the top of my lungs. Then suddenly, the banging stopped. I hear my boyfriend rush in, yelling for me. I put myself together and we make our way to his car. He apologized profusely the whole way there. We drove home in silence. There are at least a dozen accounts of supernatural occurrences just like this from the Waialae Drive-in. So where did it originate? Stories of faceless spirits in Japanese folklore can be seen as far back as 1667. There's a mischievous little demon known as the Noppera-bo. Fans of Studio Ghibli might recognize him as another name. Everyone's favorite glutton, No-Face. He's also my spirit animal. The Noppera-bo is a Japanese yokai. Yokai is a portion of Japanese legend that describes creatures, apparitions, basically anything that appears in a J-horror movie. But this particular yokai likes to disguise themselves as a young, helpless woman, often preying on unsuspecting travelers, luring them in close with their looks before wiping their face away. Their intent isn't to kill their victim, but simply scare them. These stories were brought to Hawaii by Japanese immigrants. Those who were part of the first generation were known as Nisei. Many Nisei brought their superstitions and tales of yokai with them. You're probably asking, so how does that explain the experiences? I mean, this particular urban legend is a whole generation removed from that of the Nisei. It's rare to find folklore that travels beyond their home of origin and experienced by those of other cultures. Some may argue that this adds more credence to the stories because those with no direct cultural ties experience these supernatural beings from Japan, But the faceless spirit's legitimacy has been questioned throughout the years. Few have come to a concrete answer. Some say that the faceless spirit is that of a burn victim. Many speculated that such a twisted spirit is due to the drive-in being next to a graveyard. Graves had to be removed when the drive-in began construction. Many believe they missed a few bodies. Who knows? Its close proximity to the dead, combination of Japanese superstition and the fact that it took place in a location where we are most vulnerable is probably what made this urban legend catch on like wildfire. Those of you who wish to visit this very drive-in, I'm sorry to say, it was demolished in 1985. What ended up taking its place? A luxury home community and a storage facility. I really hope they got all the bodies this time. Hey there. Thanks again for tuning in. If you like these stories and want to hear more, don't forget to stab that subscribe button and twist on notifications to be notified of more of these terrifying tales. If you have a creepy story you'd like me to read, shoot me an email. Don't forget the type of story it is and the subject, and let me know by what name you'd like to be recognized. As I said in the beginning, I'll be doing a giveaway to celebrate the channel's launch. I'll be giving away movie posters. I know, sorry, no PlayStations. Not rolling in it. Yet. That's for the 10,000 subs video. I have 2 regular movie posters and 1 glow-in-the-dark metal poster for Rick and Morty. I'll be picking 1 comment randomly on this video and 1 comment in my Instagram for those movie posters. If you want to have 2 chances, go on over to follow me on Instagram. I'm at mr.g. Or click on the link below. For whoever can send me the best story, either in email or in a comment, or on Instagram, they'll win the glow-in-the-dark metal Rick and Morty poster. If no one sends me any stories, guess I'm keeping it. Void where prohibited. Now, all winners will be announced in the final video of this series and on my Instagram story, so follow and stay tuned. I wanted to give special thanks to some amazing artists. My good friend over on the James Mayer's music channel helped with the creepy atmosphere. Head on over and check him out. I'd also like to thank Saw4551. He did the art for the thumbnail and my banner for my channel. He's an overall awesome dude. I have his info down in the description. I'd also like to thank Kate. She did an amazing job helping me with research for this channel. She's also really sweet. Kate and Saw4551 are both on Fiverr. Fiverr doesn't sponsor this video, but it could. Go support these wonderful artists and tell them Mr. G sent you. Now last but not least, I want to thank you. If you made it this far in the video, you have my undying love. I don't have a Patreon or merch, so a like and a share would be a tremendous help. Again, undying love. Well, that'll do it for this video. This is Mr. G saying, stay creepy, my friends. I just remember I drank too much soda. That's horrifying. I just remember I drank too much soda.